Hey everyone, thanks for being here. We are just waiting for a few more people to show up and then we will be starting in just a few moments. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today for our Perks of Porting webinar. We're going to get started here. My name is Jennifer Sullivan. I'm the director of the customer happiness team here at Ruby, and I'll be helping to moderate our chat today. I am here with two of Ruby's porting experts, and we're really excited to reveal all the opportunities that will come along with porting your number over to Ruby. At the end, we should have some time for a quick Q&A too, so definitely stick around for that. It's sure to be lively and informative. And so now let's meet our hosts, Chris and Gianna. Take it away.
Hi there, I'm Chris Sell. I'm the product manager here at Ruby, and I've got Gianna here by my side.
Hello, customers of Ruby. I am a problem solver and a happiness maker on Ruby's customer success team, and I've probably spoken with a few of you on the phone before.
So today, we're actually going to be delving into porting. For any longtime customers in attendance today, you have no doubt heard the term porting before, but you may have some lingering questions like, what are the benefits of porting? How does this impact my Ruby service? Or even, what the heck does porting even mean?
Yeah, Chris, I think it's important to start there. What exactly is porting?
Excellent question. At Ruby, we have the ability to host your local published number for free. We can become your provider. Porting your number to Ruby removes the need to pay a separate cost for your phone service, since your number would live in our phone system instead, and it's linked directly to your Ruby account. This will give you the ability to use call forwarding through the app or our online portal.
All Ruby accounts do come with a phone number that we do our best to match to your local area, so if you decide to publish your Ruby provided number, then you're pretty much already good to go. The features we'll be talking about today are already baked into the abilities that you have as a Ruby customer. It just simply elevates and enhances them to work better for you.
It's true. Whether you port your existing number to Ruby or just use the number that we give you, you have access to a lot of really game-changing features. Okay, but before we get into those features, I'm going to take the mic back really quick because I have a question for the audience. Hi, audience. I'm curious. How much are you paying for your business phone each month? Pop your answers into the poll on the screen.
All right, well, as you guys are working on the poll, let's talk about some of those enhancements we teased. Perk number 1, if you find that you're often on the road or constantly away from your desk, all-day meetings, etc., you may also realize that you're using your cell phone a lot to return your clients' calls. With Ruby, you can choose what number your clients see when you call them back. Maintain that elusive work-life balance we all strive for while maintaining a very professional appearance when you call someone back from your business line. If you see a missed call in your Ruby activity log, simply press call back and you can choose to use your personal cell phone number or your business number to show up on your client's line.
Choose Your Caller ID is actually one of my favorite features in the app that I like to tell customers about when they port their number to us, especially because it really allows you to have 2 lines with 1 phone. We actually have a lot of customers who have 2 devices for their business. One customer in particular carried around 2 phones with them at all times, one for their work line and one for their personal life. When they ported to us, they saved $200 a month on their phone bill, and they were able to sell their extra phone. So not only did they get rid of a monthly bill, but they simplified their life down to just 1 phone for all their needs.
I can't tell you how often I go to conferences for Ruby and we talk to attorneys, contractors, real estate agents. How many of them have 2 phones? Like one's in their pocket, usually their personal one, so they're texting their family, sharing photos, and they've got one clipped to their belt. That's their actual business line, and honestly, sometimes they get them confused. So having this feature is fantastic for Ruby.
Also just so clunky. So clunky. 2 phones.
2 phones.
Why? You don't need it.
We want 1 phone. 1 phone to rule them all. Simplify. Taking a look at the results of our poll, it looks like most people in this group we're paying between $100 and $300 a month. That's a lot. That's a decent chunk of change. And frankly, we want to help you save that money. Let's all just take a moment to daydream about what we could do with $300 extra bucks a month. Yeah. So savings is a big perk, but let's get back to the features that set you and your business apart.
That is pretty amazing. That's a lot of money to think about, especially when you consider the cost of that all over the year. So, well, I am excited about this next one, but I have a story first for perk number 2. I took my car into the shop a few weeks ago just for a standard oil change, and they were sending me text updates about what was happening on my car and when it would be ready. As a customer, for me, this enabled me to connect with the business in a way that was really convenient. I could ask questions, got a really quick response and updates without having to hop on a call. I feel like more and more businesses are doing this nowadays to reach their clientele. If you're say a solo practicing attorney, do you really want your clients to have your personal cell phone number? If you have that separation where you can still give a way for you to be accessible with your business number, whether that's calls or texts without having to do the extra cost or invasion into your personal life, then it really could be worthwhile to move your number to Ruby. After we released texting in the app, we had a customer reach out to us the very next day and say how much they really enjoyed texting from their business line from court with our app.
Yeah, it's awesome. Full disclosure, I am a millennial. As Chris just explained, it's so important to meet your clients where they are because that's where things are headed. It's so necessary to be able to text your customers when it's like your primary, every generation, mine included, and going forward, we'll probably be texting everything. But it's important, if you want your business to grow, you have to evolve with the technology around you. With the app, you can keep your personal number private and have the confidence that Ruby and a cell phone is really all you need to keep connected to your clients. Let's go ahead and do a little walkthrough of what it looks like to text out of the app. So you may see a notification for a new message, or you can initiate a brand new text message by tapping the text bubble to the right of the rotary dial. Opening that will display your text message activity, and you're also able to compose a new message by tapping the paper and pencil icon. You type the name and number or name or number of who you'd like to text, and it'll compose your message in the conversation section. Just like you would on the phone, you tap that little arrow to send it.
Yeah, we designed the app so that the UI should feel really natural, whether you're texting or calling. I talked to a customer last week who was really concerned his personal calls were showing up in the Ruby call activity. Turns out he was actually using the Choose Your Caller ID feature and making calls from his business line without even realizing it. Perk number 3. Okay, I want you guys to think about Uber for a second. You know, that car app. You control that business with your phone. You tell the driver when and where to pick you up and where you're going. Without the app, you're stuck on the side of the street. It's a people-powered business, but you're the one who's controlling when it's on and off. This ability is what we want you to think about when you think about call forwarding. This feature allows you to turn Ruby on and off, send calls to another number, your desk, your cell, wherever you are. And if you're not able to pick up that call, have them roll to Ruby to have them be your backup and have us pick up the phone when you don't. For a lot of Ruby customers who house their number with a different service, only their phone providers can adjust call forwarding. Usually that means dialing *72 to the number you're forwarding, but if you're not doing *72, then you're probably working on your provider personally, and that can be a big hassle. If you have VoIP service, more often than not, that means you're going through some sort of online portal to change your forwarding. This can be clunky and not always user-friendly.
Truly not user-friendly most of the time. If you've ever talked to the customer happiness team, you know that we love our customers and we really want things to work out for you. So we will 100% call into your provider with you or for you to get your service set up just as you need. But if we host your phone number, we'll be able to do all of that without making any calls. I can't tell you the number of times per week that I log into somebody's RingCentral to get things set up because it's incredibly confusing, or call into the phone provider and wait for 45 minutes on hold just to make sure that your calls will get forwarded over to us easily and without the headache. I'll take your headaches for you because I love you.
That's another service where I was looking at. I was like, okay, it's $50 for the service for a month, plus then you're buying the equipment, the extra lines.
Right.
With Ruby, you're getting all that included in the fee that you're paying Ruby for a month, and we've got your number for you, and we handle all that headache stuff for you.
Yeah, imagine not having to call into AT&T, but having to call into Ruby if there's a phone problem.
That's what we
need. We would love to handle it for you. Anyway, if you do want to port over and you do want to be able to control your call forwarding through the app, you just make the adjustments and you're good to go. So from the app, there are 3 settings we'd like to tell you about that you can control. The first of which is our classic call Ruby routing. And this is where Ruby handles all your calls. So you can forward those over to us. All of them will come to Ruby either for live answering or for your after hours option, which could be your Ruby voicemail box that we set up, or you can redirect it to an outside line.
The second is forwarding to an outside number. All calls to your Ruby account roll to the number you select. This essentially turns Ruby off. Are you expecting an important call and want to handle it yourself? Set forwarding to the number you want, and Ruby is now out of the picture.
Finally, we have our delayed call forwarding option, which is my favorite aspect of call forwarding. You can have calls sent to a number that you select, and if it's not available or if the line is busy, the call will roll to Ruby after a few rings. So you can be confident that we have your back and that calls are being handled with care when you aren't able to answer them yourself. We have a customer I recently spoke with who decided to port her number over because she has a travel agency on the side of her full-time job. But it goes through seasons. There's a lot of slow season downtime from January through April, where she doesn't need Ruby to handle every single call, but she is also working a full-time job on the side. So she needs to be able to have Ruby when she's not available. So she can now set, once the number ported over to us, she was able to set it to ring a couple times to her cell phone. If she was at her desk working at her other job, she could just let it go, knowing that Ruby was going to be there for her. You have that power when you port your number over to us. You don't have to call the phone provider to set up a delayed call forward. You get to just pop into the app, change the settings, and sit back and relax, or keep working.
So, Gianna, you actually obviously handle porting for our customers and customer happiness. Let's talk a little bit about that process. How hard is it?
It is so simple, everyone. It's so simple to port your number over because it's in the hands of customer happiness. Basically, all you have to do is reach out to us. You reach out to the customer happiness team either by email, by sending us a message to staff@callruby.com, or give us a call. And we'll send you a letter of authorization. That's the first step. You'll fill out your letter of authorization with your name, business, address, the account number with your current provider, and if there's a PIN number that's applicable, you'll just give us that as well. And then you'll find your most recent phone bill, and you'll send both documents back to us. At that point, we take it over and do the rest. So we'll submit the paperwork to your provider for you. And then we'll just let you know when the port is scheduled and then when it's complete.
That does sound pretty easy.
It is so easy.
Think of all the benefits. Amazing. All right. Well, I wouldn't be on this webinar if we didn't have some new product announcements to talk about that are, you may notice, already released or coming down the pipe for you guys. So this one is coming soon. This is a type of feature that actually isn't new for Ruby, doing call assist for you. You might have actually used an assist by having us talk to a caller for you, but now we're making it even easier from the app. So having a Ruby talk for you, you're selecting a call from the app that you might be meaning to return, tap call assist, enter in what you'd like us to say on your behalf, hit submit, and consider it done. We make the call for you. This is great for appointment reminders, letting someone know you're on your way, or for those opportunities where you just have too much on your plate and you really need a friendly Ruby to complete the call for you. Call tagging. This is out. You actually might notice a new column when you log on to our site, or a new little lead tag in your call activity on the app. We've been documenting for a long time what kind of calls come into your account for some time with Ruby, and now we've actually been finally able to elevate this to the status you guys, our customers, have been asking for. Follow up on the calls that matter by seeing at a glance how many new leads have called, how many existing clients called, and then organize your day in a way that's efficient for you, and just let all the solicitors and robocalls fall by the wayside. Speaking of robocalls, we're getting really close on this one, and I'm pretty excited about this cool innovation. We all know robocalls are a problem, right? No longer is it just, the guy calling you at dinner. They're all coming in at all times of the day now. So using the brand new technology we have, we can now identify these robocalls before they even hit a Ruby. We can block these or send them to a voicemail where you can filter through them with our also new feature, voicemail transcription. These calls won't be handled by a receptionist, and that saves you time and money. So we are looking for a group of willing customers to test this out. Let us know your interest by emailing rubyux@callruby.com. We'll get you added to our potential beta group to give this robocall blocking a try.
I'm so excited for that feature.
I'm super
excited. It's going to be incredible.
We also have this really cool little robot icon that shows up next to it.
Which is adorable. Keep an eye out, because it's really cute.
It's neat.
Well, thank you for that inside scoop. I always like hearing about what's coming up next for Ruby, constantly innovating and bringing new features. We're at the end of our presentation here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I think right now it looks like we can head into our Q&A section. So,
questions.
Do you have any questions for us about porting? Just pop them into that question field in GoToWebinar, and we will answer for you. We do have some questions about whether or not there will be a recording of the webinar, and absolutely, we will be sending that out to everyone afterwards so that you can listen to it over and over again.
Over.
Yeah, and also you can always call Customer Happiness if you have any questions about porting, so we're here for you. Oh, great. Looks like we've got some more questions. Ooh, I'm loving this. Okay, what's the cost of porting?
Great question. So porting is completely free. There's nothing, especially on our end, we don't charge for this process at all. There's the rare instance, depending on the phone provider you have, that there would be a cost associated with porting out, but that's super uncommon. It's not something we run into very often at all.
Yeah, it's what Google Voice is $3.
Yeah, Google Voice is $3 to like unlock the number, but otherwise, Bring Central, AT&T, Verizon, all of those port over for free. They're happy to release your number to us.
And once we have your number, more importantly, we're not charging you for that number now.
Totally.
It's just included with Ruby, what you already pay.
Yeah, bundled on in. What about the cost for texting? Is there a cost?
There is no cost for texting.
Yeah. Also included. Awesome. Send domestic text, and we also have it so if you could just type in the name of who you're texting, you can sync your device contacts with Ruby. So I need to text Gianna, but she's not in my Ruby contacts. She is in my phone contacts. I just start typing Gianna, boom, I can send a text to her. Super easy, and yeah, also included.
What about texting from the Ruby website? It's in the app. Is it going to be on the website at any point?
Definitely something we're hearing. You can see the text in the site, but in terms of replying to them, that is the app only right now. We are wanting to work on that soon, though, that you could just pop it open at your desk and reply to text from there like you would, IM.
Right. That would be super helpful. I'm excited for that.
Very cool. Okay, so looks like someone does have a concern. If I port my main number to you and later change my mind, can I get my number back?
Well, you probably won't change your mind because it's pretty awesome. But hypothetically, if you do, we definitely we'll give your number back to you right away. So long as you're in good billing standing, we're more than happy to port that number back out to you. In that case, the process would look like us providing you with a letter of authorization from us this time, and we would send you just something that resembles a bill that you could provide to your phone provider, and they would take that information. You would just give that to them, and they would take the information and handle the port from there, communicating with us and our phone provider.
Yep, totally reverse of porting over to us, and then we also take your firstborn child. Has to be an even exchange.
Come on.
This is your business line. This is important, obviously, to your business, where you need something in return.
Every company has a Rumpelstiltskin, right?
Yes.
Chris is ours.
Let's see here. So here's a question. Do we have to maintain our current phone provider after the number is ported? What happens after you port?
That's a really interesting question because, no. I mean, we become your phone provider. So I don't know if you guys ever talked to Comcast or AT&T. It's just awful to get them on the phone. But then think about talking to Ruby on the phone. So lovely. We are your provider. Talking to us should be that easy. So
yeah, the only case in which you would have to maintain service with your phone provider is if you were using them for internet or some sort of backline system or fax services. We currently don't support fax services, but we have a lot of customers who port over to us, and they're able to go with an e-fax service. A lot of those are popping up nowadays. So if you have to keep that fax service running, you totally can. But yeah, there's no need to keep the phone provider if you're not using them for some other bundle.
Yeah, so if you were porting your published number over to Ruby, then all of those calls could be answered by our receptionist, your receptionist team. But if you wanted to then have them come to your cell phone, is one question here, you could then toggle in that forwarding to have it go to your cell phone if you wanted.
Absolutely. And really, it's what we talked about with the call forwarding. It's that second option of just basically turning Ruby off. So you're setting the custom to go to your cell phone. Your caller is not even going to know the difference. It's just going to ring like normal and roll right over to where you are on your phone.
Right.
So here's a question. We have multiple business lines. Would we port all of them? And multiple, I'm guessing, published business lines out there for the world.
Absolutely.
Totally. Yeah, you're able to port any amount of numbers over to Ruby. We actually recently had a customer who was doing a full rebrand, and they had 9 lines that they needed to move away from their phone provider so that they could be more mobile. So they ported all 9 of those numbers over to us, cut a massive phone bill, and just have all of those living in our system now.
And then you can call and text from all 9 of those.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing even changed in your office.
Very cool. Let's see here. So is the texting all done through the app, or what parts are done through the app? What parts are actually happening through your actual cell phone?
Yeah, awesome question.
Yeah. So texting and calling is done through the Ruby app. All you have to do is download it. There's no fee to download or pay for that. And yeah, we wanted to make it feel very natural. So you've got your call activity, your contacts, your call handling status, and then all along with that is calling and texting, all done in the app.
Yeah, and all of that is done through your cell carrier. So it's all done, it's done through our app, but it also uses your phone service to be able to send those out and make those calls.
That's a good point, yeah. The fact that it's going over your cell service makes the call quality that much better.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Can Ruby help us get customized numbers for our business?
Yes, we can. Oh my gosh, I love doing this. Acquiring phone numbers for customers is so much fun because it's fun for me because I get to sit on the phone with the customer and run through those really cool numbers and the numbers that are also not so cool. But it's really fun to talk to somebody and be like, ooh, what about 555-4646? And they're like, that is good. Let's get it.
827-5209.
Exactly.
Well, 5309, right?
We can't actually acquire that one because it's like copyrighted.
I had a buddy in high school who had that as a cell phone.
Seriously?
Yes.
That's the dream.
I'm not going to tell you where I went to high school, but
Nope.
if you call it, that's his phone, and he still has it to this
My
day.
favorite thing. But yeah, short story, we totally can acquire numbers for you. So if you're looking to get another number, or maybe just a sexier number to use for your business, we can totally make that happen for you.
So what about, let's see here. Oh my goodness, we have a ton of questions. Let's see, the next one on the list is 867. Good filler music, everyone. Here it is. Can you import customer contacts into the app to see who they are?
Yes.
So when you're texting with them, when you're calling.
Yes, for sure. That's super handy. You might have seen it when we popped up the little screen grab there. If you've got your contacts in there, they now appear as their name in the app and on our site. So now you know who's calling. You're not guessing what their caller ID is or trying to look through your phone book of who that is. It's totally natural.
Yeah, importing contacts from your device is actually the best way to input your Ruby contacts, because it'll do it. There's a little button that you select to give it permission to upload your contacts, and you can actually select which ones you want to import over, so that like your grandma doesn't end up in your Ruby contacts because she's probably not a Ruby contact, but everybody else, you have control over who goes in there.
But if your grandma's calling your business, now you know it's grandma calling.
Totally.
And you can
that
take
way,
it and talk about cookies, or you can
right.
not take it because maybe you don't want to talk about grandma right now.
Exactly. And receptionists will know that your grandma's calling if she's calling from the number that's in your Ruby contacts, so they can be like, oh, Graham!
Which
so
can
good
totally
to hear
make for a
from
great
you.
conversation.
It's beautiful. So beautiful.
It all works together, with the full service, from receptionist to the app, for your activity. It's super helpful to have.
And receptionists love knowing that information. Like when your wife calls and they can see, like, she's my wife, they get really pumped because they're like, oh my God, it's Ben's wife. We can talk. She's my wife.
That kind of brings me to another question on here, sort of similar. How the personal text and the business text, they're separate, right? Let's just make sure that's clear. Like we've got our Ruby texting, and then you've got the texting on your phone.
Yep.
Totally. And you're selecting which caller ID to show. So if you want it to show your personal line, choose that before you write the text, send it. And if they're hitting reply to that, to your personal one, it's going to now go to your personal texting, your iMessages or your Android messages.
Right.
If you're doing your business one, it's going to come back to your business line and show up in the Ruby app instead. So you can totally make the choice.
Yeah, and if you wanted to make sure that everything was separate, the Ruby text notifications from Ruby will come through the Ruby app, not through your device. So your messaging app on your iPhone won't show you your Ruby texts, but you'll get a notification from the Ruby app when you get a text through your Ruby app. So
that cute little Ruby head next to the notification on your screen.
Little Ruby face. I got a text.
So here's a question. If you port over, do you have to have those calls ring to a cell phone if you're choosing to take the call, or could you have it go to a different phone number, like an office phone or your colleague's phone, because you don't want to take it, you want to send it over to them.
Totally.
I talked to a guy at a conference last year, and he had forwarding on, and he had it because it was a sales line, so he obviously had it going to his sales guy, so he just forwarded all the lines to him. He actually kind of found out a little later that like the guy just wasn't answering his phone at all. But
cautionary tale.
Cautionary tale.
Yes.
But yes, absolutely forward it anywhere you want.
Forwarding.
Yeah.
Prevent against that.
There you go. Use delayed call forwarding in that instance. So if your buddy, your sales guy isn't picking up, at least someone is in that instance.
For sure.
Ruby. So you still got things handled.
We have customers who will, for example, a couple lawyers that ported their number over to us. They have their business number through the app. They set it up to ring to the cell phone and even the desk phone of the intake specialist, so that it would go to her first, and if she's unavailable, then it would roll back over to Ruby to handle the intake. But it goes to her desk phone, so you can program it to go to literally any number that you want before rolling over to Ruby, or not.
Very cool. So similar to that, if you have an employee picking up a call that we have routed through the app over to them, if they then need to transfer it to another employee, how would that work? Is Ruby even involved in that?
That's a great question.
Not that I can think of.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, once we transfer it over, it's
in your hands, and if you're going to be transferring to who you want on your end, that's up to you.
Yeah, you can run the phone over to them in the office. Physical transfer, relay transfer.
Right. At that point, it's based on the phone that they answer from. So, let's see here. So, we also have a question. If we port, will we be able to block the unwanted or solicitor numbers?
Ew.
Yes, we can.
In the future.
Well,
we're
now,
dead.
actually, we have the ability that if you contact Customer Happiness and say, hey, I've got this block of numbers that constantly call me, can you block them? Yes, we can.
Yeah, Customer Happiness can handle that for you if you let us know. So if the number keeps coming up and it's being marked as a solicitor, just shoot us an email or give us a call and let us know what number is being a pest, and we'll add that number manually to the block call list.
Yep.
But going forward,
because robocalls, a lot of time with the new technology that they are using, they're now kind of spoofing their own numbers, and those can rotate a lot. So you might just get a bunch that are like one digit off or a few digits off. The system we're going to be using soon identifies those as robocalls, it identifies them as suspicious, and there's like a level that goes up and down with those. So we know kind of the level. When it hits that, it just blocks them automatically, and they don't even hit our system.
right.
Yeah.
In the future, we'll have a way for you to block calls through the app, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that in the pipeline? Definitely not a thing yet,
Trying to think about ways that we can get creative with that.
Right.
The robocalls is where we're really focusing, so that you can have the power to decide how much risk you want to take, and you'll always have that Ruby voicemail box there to send those people to, and still read their voicemail transcription just in case someone you actually care about has a suspicious
You actually
number.
block Emma.
Right.
You can at least see that she called, and if she left a voicemail, you can just read the voicemail.
Grandma, you really got to change your number. Something less suspicious.
Yeah, Graham.
Grams.
Where is the app, everyone? Where can we find it?
Yeah.
And what kind of apps do we have?
What kind of apps do we have? We have one app. We have the Ruby app, the Call Ruby app. And you can find this through your, if you have an iPhone, through the Apple App Store, or on an Android, the Google Play Store. We have apps for both of those, iPhones and Androids.
Totally.
So you go to the
I think you search Ruby Receptionist, and that's the main search term.
Nice. Yeah. I think that and Call Ruby will pull it up.
Call Ruby does pull it up, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think we got to most of them here. If you had any questions that came in the flurry and we didn't quite get to it, don't worry. We are going to be getting back to you. I'll have a member of my awesome team reach out to you so that all of your questions about porting can be addressed. And as we send out the recording, there also will be a form in there, a letter of authorization form. So if you know from this presentation you definitely want to make it happen, go ahead and fill that out, send it in to us, and we'll get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Yay. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Give us a call.